Welcome, everybody, to episode 215 of The China Show, the real China Show.
Shout out to the 215. We're doing the area code thing now, I guess, because so many people were pumped that we shouted out their area code last time. So whoever's in the 215, props to you, shout out to you.
Sure.
Hope you're watching the China Show. Hope you're super amped up that we shouted out. And if you want to know why I am so orange and why I look like such an abomination, you'll have to stick around till a little bit later.
Yeah, we'll explain. You're looking way better today. It's worn off.
It's starting to wear off.
It's worn off a lot.
Yes.
Yes, we have such a jam-packed show today. Of course, we're talking about this ridiculous waterfall, but we found many other examples that we just have to share with you.
And I want to elaborate a little bit. Not just waterfalls. In fact,
Yes.
we've stumbled, I shouldn't say stumbled, we spent painstaking research.
Yes.
Finding at least 20 other fake tourist destinations in China where a lot of people go, and it's so not what they thought.
Exactly. Yeah. So look forward to it. It's going to be a great episode. We're going to start, of course, by sauntering into what's new. This is where we talk about what's new, specifically with regards to China. Now, contrary to what a lot of propagandists are telling you, the real estate market and the economic situation in China is looking pretty dire.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to go to full collapse and devastation yet, but we're talking about
exactly
we're talking about
economic collapse and devastation.
We're talking about a downturn and a rumble.
Yeah.
Not a full collapse, it's definitely a heavy rumble.
Well, I mean, look, it's actually quite terrible because, I'm going to put this on in the background quickly and I'll show you. But right now in China, and I think you can agree with me, there's very little in the way of options of putting any money into anything.
We were chatting about this earlier.
Right?
We were like picking each other's brains. Like, what do you do? Well, traditionally you buy property because that's the safest bet. The yuan, the RMB, the Chinese currency is worth nothing. Like on an international scale, it's not backed by anything.
Yeah.
And so people don't want to use it to trade. In fact,
no, of course.
89% of the world does forex, foreign exchange in US dollars still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
De-dollarization. It's not happening.
It's more like re-dollarization.
Re-dollarization.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like that. And also think about this. You can't buy crypto legally in China.
It's not legal.
You
can invest in gold, but it's kind of iffy in China. There's all sorts of weird stumbling blocks and fake gold.
Fake gold. You can watch my video from a couple of videos ago.
Yeah.
But also, it's not only that. It's like, what do you buy? They put caps on how many US dollars you can buy too.
Yeah.
So there's really no option for people. So they're losing their minds. And now that the property bubble, which makes the US property bubble in 2008 look this big, China's is this big.
It's insane.
And now that there are holes cropping up in this bubble, and the air is leaking out. This is a microcosm of what's happening.
Yeah. So to set up the stage for what you're seeing here, people bought properties as they do in China. Usually people will actually buy a property even before it's built, right? Because it's an investment, which is a fail-safe investment that's going to, only increase in value. But unfortunately, that's changing. People aren't buying properties like they used to in the past. They are not just randomly buying a property just because.
Well, because the housing market's collapsing.
And people don't have the money. And a lot of cutbacks, people losing their jobs, or they're getting a lower wage. So these property developers are having trouble selling these properties now.
Yeah.
Whereas before, they would be sold out before they even broke ground.
Yes.
So now what happened was a bunch of people have already bought properties in this particular place. This was in Shanxi, right?
It is, in Xinzhou.
Xinzhou and Shanxi. And the property development company was like, well, we're not selling these. We're going to have to reduce the prices. So they reduced the price to 5,000 RMB a square meter overnight. And so the people that had already bought properties like a week, a day, a month before, a year before, they suddenly lost a huge amount of money overnight. Like some of them lost 300,000 RMB overnight because now they're charging less.
Yeah, and that's not it's not a fixed thing. Like they will lose more. They still have to lose more.
Yeah, of course, specifically because of interest rates and stuff. So without any boring nonsense, they are, of course, really angry.
When I said this is a microcosm, like this unrest is happening across the country. This happened to get outside the Great Firewall of China.
You constantly see people going to protest because think about it. Imagine you've just spent your entire family's fortune to buy a property, okay, and then you find out the next day that they've reduced the prices, and new home buyers that are buying the same property are paying 300,000 RMB less than what you paid.
If you wake up and see your life savings down the drain, you're gonna crap your jappers.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
And so, yeah, the problem is they're now demanding that they get their money back.
You know what I hate though?
What?
Do you know what? Rick said something about this.
What? He said...
Wow, that's a little too much for me.
That's reasonable.
Yeah, because he wasn't going to say...
Wow, so good.
Because I thought he was.
Oh, you thought he was going to
Yeah.
say that? Anyway, so... So that was just to inject a little bit of realism into what's going on, because you're probably seeing a lot of propaganda about how the economy is doing so well in China.
It's pretty wild. We're going to talk a little bit later about, you remember
Just
the
like
whole...
the fake waterfalls.
Yeah,
You know?
do you remember the whole chip sanction thing?
Yes.
We're going to talk about this a little bit later, but I got to tell you guys, these sanctions against China, these tariffs on these chips have been devastating for China. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it's funny because they're literally putting out the false
opposite.
Yeah, it's literally like a 180.
They're like, this has hurt America.
Yeah, it's like, no, you own a reverse card. No, it's hurting you.
Yeah. So what's going on here behind us, guys, is this is a charging station. And what happens is, these dudes riding around on the e-bikes, you can see some of the helmets from Ultima. And Ultima is a very well-known delivery company.
Means, are you hungry?
Yeah, exactly. It's like DoorDash. The same thing.
Yes.
Right?
Or Uber Eats.
Yeah, something along those lines. But of course, in China, it's a huge industry.
Yeah.
And it employs a vast swath of the population. Okay? And so what happens is these delivery guys, they ride around on electric bikes, little e-bikes. And of course, the batteries run flat. And a lot of them, they need to get the batteries charged. So they go to these little charging stations. You plug in your battery and you charge it, right, for your e-bike. Mm-hmm. So this dude's chilling out and he's waiting for his battery to charge. And then,
I thought he was chilling out, relaxing, all cool, but I guess not.
No. And then, now, this is important, guys. If you ever see a lithium-ion battery start to smoke, you get away from it as quickly as you can. It doesn't matter if it's a tiny little cell phone or a gadget or anything, but if it starts to smoke, move away from it, okay? You'll see why.
Time.
Just in time they get out, because...
These things are so scary.
It's like a chemical flamethrower, and it never just stops.
No.
You don't go like, oh, it's died down.
The cells
Yeah. See?
are
Look
another flamethrower.
Yeah, it's literally like this terrible flamethrower. Oh, you think it's all cool now? Look at all that noxious fume, the noxious
What
fumes
about
as
all
well.
the other batteries?
Yeah, they're probably going to catch up on soon too. But let's see. You think it's all over, but it's not. They keep burning, they keep reigniting. It's a nightmare. Lithium-ion batteries, especially. I mean, yeah, look at that. When you buy these cheap little electric scooters and stuff from China? That's what's in them.
This goes on, doesn't it?
Certainly does.
What the heck?
I don't know. Something happened there. Let's carry on.
Is there anything to do with Elon getting his batteries made in China?
Well, who knows?
Is he? Is that a thing?
I know he's been getting his batteries made in China. Yeah, a lot of them. Should probably reconsider. Look at this go, dude. This is the apocalypse. Look at this.
This is so scary. That's one battery.
Let me get us out of here, by the way. This happened on the 1st of this month. This is a few days ago. So there's not some outdated technology. This is brand new Chinese electric battery technology for you right here.
Look at the color.
Yeah.
Look at the view.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful. It's almost haunting.
I mean, look, suffice to say, anyone let's say this was your house, right? And someone's sleeping in the house and this happens, you'll die of, inhalation, chemical, disgusting. Guys, a quick PSA, if you do happen to have, maybe you bought it a couple of years ago, whatever, you've got like a little Chinese hoverboard or an EV or whatever it is in your house, I would suggest that you store it in your garage or something. Outside if you can. If you charge it, make sure you never leave it unattended as well. Just because the quality control on those are so iffy. And they're incredibly dangerous. So please be very careful of those. Anyway, onto something a bit humorous. We have, of course, these propagandists that put out Chinese propaganda
or at least
on...
people that amplify propaganda.
Yeah, exactly.
It says robot security guards at the Beijing military exhibition, meaning to promote how technologically advanced China is.
So they do this a lot, right?
Yeah, they do.
And they boost Chinese propaganda. Now, I'd like all of you to see, everybody, these robot security guards at the Beijing military exhibition.
Which was made for you to believe this is real, by the way.
Yes, this is posted on Twitter or X, but of course on Facebook and every other, Western social media.
It has a genesis.
They put it down. So let's see.
They're highly regarded robots.
Yes.
Very
Wait
highly
for it.
Cool that they can walk through the camera.
Yes.
That's actually one of the high tech,
Yes.
developments. They have no clipping mode on.
Yeah. One thing I find very strange is how China and Chinese propagandists, they keep showing this Boston Dynamics knockoff, with like a machine gun on it, as if it's a Chinese innovation.
It's not. It's embarrassing.
It's like, dude.
I was showing these clips
Yeah.
when I first moved to China to my older students. I was showing Boston Dynamics just to show like how like we're talking about robots or something,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
To
yeah.
show you like current robots back in like 2009 or something,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And then now we're looking at like almost clear knockoffs. Of
They
this,
are,
like it's some sort of
completely.
innovation.
Yeah, it's a complete knockoff of Boston Dynamics dog robots that they make. But look at this. They expect that people are going to believe this. Look, it walks through the camera. I mean, come on, guys. It's the cheapest, rubbishest CG, but it's being posted. Literally, they say robot security guards at the Beijing military exhibition, as if it's fact.
And it's like 2001 computer
Yeah,
game.
it's so bad.
graphics.
And nobody's looking at them because they don't exist.
'Cause they're not real.
Yeah, exactly. Or it's a Snapchat filter or something.
Yes.
Anyway, what is this that you've got here? What is this?
Okay, so I don't know the context of this clip, so no one jump down our throats.
Okay.
Okay? It appears to be some sort of funeral setting. However, could be filming something.
Why is it like how to show? What are they like making fun of his Chinese?
I guess, because there's Korean up in the top right. We can only read the Chinese on
Yeah.
the left. I guess it's a Korean guy trying to speak Chinese.
Yeah,
right?
trying to be emotional, speaking Chinese.
But he's crying, and
Okay.
they're trying to look dead serious. But just watch the guy on the left as
Okay.
he chokes up.
All right, let's take a look.
好，我所知道。
Hold on. We're gonna try to be
Okay,
serious.
yeah,
Do it
'cause-
again. We're trying to be serious.
I get it because the Korean guy's accent is so terrible. His
It
Chinese
is. His
accent
Chinese
is
is
so bad.
And that's funny.
yeah.
But
I hope it's not a very serious thing.
I think it is. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I think because there's
Okay.
so little
Yeah, I'll
cultural
get us outta
tidbit
here.
for you guys in Asia and in
Yeah.
China specifically and Korea. White flowers are used for funerals, and they're both wearing black. So I think this is some sort of
funeral, dude.
serious
Yeah, it's
thing.
probably
We should not-
serious.
no
yeah.
one should be laughing.
No,
here.
no.
But it's hard because, and I'm blaming the guy on the left. He did it first. And
Okay.
That's why I'm laughing.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Let's see one more time.
好，我所知道。最常见的。
Okay,
So I gotta set this up.
all right.
Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't never laugh at a funeral. What is that Bare Naked Lady song? I'm the kind of guy who laughs at a funeral.
I don't know that song.
Yes, you do. It's been 1 week since you looked at me. Na, 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 na.
Oh, that one. Yeah, yeah. I didn't know the lyrics.
Yeah. It says something about Sailor Moon or some shit.
Oh,
It's like a
interesting.
random smattering of lyrics. Typical Canadian nonsense. Anyway.
Yep.
So shout out to Canada. You guys make the
Exactly.
best shills.
I
for-
think it's
for
probably
the
better than that
CCP.
Jumping Frog Albuquerque song.
I actually that was you were making fun of it, and you were like, check it out, and I listened to it, and I was like, that's not that bad.
What, the hot dog jumping
Yeah,
frog?
it was okay.
Yeah.
And then the Cars and Girls one, great.
That's
song.
great, but
Very
like
good song.
hot dog jumping frog Albuquerque
I don't like
are
that he
stupid lyrics.
For some reason, I don't like that he says Albuquerque.
I don't like that either.
Yeah.
Sounds
no
weird.
harm, no foul to Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're not the 215, whatever that is. Albuquerque saying that randomly sounds like Purple Penguin of Doom, like cringe. I'm so random.
Exactly.
Lol, look at me. Oh, I like to be crazy. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's
So
that vibe.
so what's going on with this little? He looks very nationalist to me.
Well, he's getting the students amped up. He's
For
saying,
what?
like, you gotta study hard and try your
Oh.
best and don't be bad, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But he's shouting slogans.
Yes.
Right, getting people. He's like a motivator.
Right.
But I don't think he's set up well for this kind of speech.
Well, either that or he's overexerting himself a bit.
I think it's a little of both.
Okay,
he's
let's-
not warmed up.
Okay, let's take a look.
Hold on. You gotta play that without us in it.
Okay, I'll get us out
I
of there.
felt sick, like he was throwing up on
I feel
us.
like he's about to throw up, like his throat's gonna prolapse out. You know what I'm saying?
He's about to prolapse.
Yeah,
throat.
that's horrible. Okay, let's see. I'll get us out of there. Take a look. Okay. Dude,
Dude, at the end, that last one, that could have been like a heavy metal song.
It could have. He really
like a death
forced that
metal
out.
song.
That was ridiculous. I love it. That's freaking ridiculous. That poor guy, though.
I actually feel kind of.
I feel like he probably, when he finished his speech, he puked all over the microphone.
Absolutely.
Maybe they
And
cut
he's
it
like,
short.
Did
Yeah.
you see him? Like he progressively shakes more throughout the clip.
Yes.
Which just play it for a second. I just
Okay,
want to see like he's holding it back.
Yeah, you could. He keeps swallowing his puke.
Can you do me a favor?
What?
Can you play it in 50%?
I don't know if it's.
You can.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
did it
Where's
last
it?
time.
Yeah, we did it. Let's see.
Playback.
Where's it?
It's on playback, yeah.
Okay, I'll find it. Give me a
I
second.
think this is very important because I
you
want to
think
try
so?
to not laugh. I think this could be. I think this could be a soundbite, just a one little.
Yeah. Okay, I've got speed,
And then you
normal,
do
slower.
Slower. There you go.
Yeah, let's try.
Start from the beginning.
Start from the beginning.
Yes, I want to
Okay.
see if I can handle this.
Okay, let's see. All right. Let's see.
The last one.
Yeah. It's worse. It's worse when you slow it down.
It's so much
worse.
funnier though. It's so much funnier.
Oh, this poor guy.
Oh
Wow.
my gosh.
Okay.
That is so worth someone turning into a death metal, like a speed death metal riff.
Yes.
You know what I
That's
mean?
right. Yeah.
For sure. And we could absolutely make a soundbite out of it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. At
Oh
some point,
my
we got to do it.
Gosh, I also simultaneously feel bad because he's just trying to ramp everyone up, and he's sticking to it.
Yeah.
But man, it's funny. It's so freaking funny.
There's a vein popping out his neck and everything. He's going all out, man. Holy crap. He's intense. He's intense.
That is one of the funniest things I've seen in a long
Oh,
time.
yeah, me too. All right, moving on. Imagine you're walking in the countryside in China and you come across this lovely stream.
山上流这个洪水，不知道
It's like,
It's like
this is
inside
coming out of the
There's
mountain,
this
you know?
red water's coming
Yeah,
out of the
it's
mountain.
Liu, it's coming, it's leaking out of the mountain or whatever. It's coming down the mountain.
是怎么回事。
It's like, what is this, you know?
看一下有哪位朋友知道这个是什么东西。
Because my friends out
Yeah.
there, like, can you tell me what this is?
Yeah.
No.
I'll tell you what it is. There's obviously a factory up there somewhere, bro.
Either that or it's someone slayed a dragon.
Yeah, one of the
这
two.
个山顶上流这个洪水出来。
Yeah, it's not what you want.
It's Earth's time of the month.
It's not Earth's time of the month, bro. Okay. Woo.
Boy.
Okay, wow.
That's a good what's new.
Yeah, we got so much coming your way, guys. But
We do.
We have a little word for you. We got a word.
We'll give you a word. Let's
got
give
a
you
word.
Word up.
Yeah,
Let's
word
go,
up.
word. Come
Word
on.
down.
Warmer, sunnier days are calling. Fuel up for them with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. Meet your wellness goals in time for summer thanks to the menu of chef-crafted meals and options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. No matter what or how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy nutritious, great tasting meals. We absolutely love Factor. Delicious, never frozen.
Yep.
Super amazing. And I love the rotating menus on the website so you can customize which ones you want.
It's
not all
awesome.
the same.
And it's really good.
It's delicious.
It tastes super good.
Absolutely delicious. Keep kitchen time to a minimum. Factor meals are ready in 2 minutes. No shopping, no prepping, or cooking or cleaning up. Imagine something comes to your door. You get a bunch of these meals and you pop them in your fridge. And then you're like, okay, here's my meal. 2 minutes later, you're eating chef-crafted food.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
I told you a subscriber lost a lot of weight because it's portion control. He's eating Factor.
Yeah.
Really enjoying it.
And then if you want the non-diet options or whatever, there's completely normal
I mean, he
food
was
too.
just eating the stuff he liked, but because it's, you control what you're eating at that point.
It's great. Head to factormeals.com/ADV50 and use the code ADV50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code ADV50 at factormeals.com/ADV50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. Thanks.
Yeah. Really good stuff, and it's incredibly good quality too.
Yes.
Okay, time for us to move on, guys. We're going to move on to our main segment. Well, our main segment today, Soft Power Hour, is actually going to be a little bit of two things, because it's going to be slopaganda, but at the same time, it's going to lead into something else.
Yes.
So slopaganda, as you know, my favorite part of the show, is when we show how Chinese propaganda goes wrong. You know. And this today has all got to do with this waterfall. So let's start out. Here is a state promotional video for this place in Henan. Now, one thing people don't seem to realize is that when it comes to tourism, it is the government.
Yes.
Okay, so a lot of people think, oh, it's just a little, private thing. No, it's not. The tourism boards that run the tourist, all this kind of stuff for whichever region in China, it is the government. It is an organ of the Chinese Communist Party that runs these, okay? They're responsible for the tourism.
Yeah, this isn't some private company.
Yeah, they're responsible for getting people in there.
It is propaganda.
Yeah, this is propaganda, but they're also responsible for organizing everything and for maintaining and running everything. It's all a government effort, right? So, this is very typical.
That's what you see when you go.
Yeah, of course you don't see that.
People doing Tai Chi.
Yeah. So they show these oversaturated, pristine, this is a beautiful place, come here.
高耸入云的山峰，由丹霞地貌、岩溶地貌、喀斯特地貌共同构成的云台。
It's like, come here and you too can pretend to be all by yourself. Because I'll give you a little tip. If you go to any of these places in China, you're never alone.
No.
It's usually a massive crowd, especially around holiday times.
For sure.
为这北国雄壮山脉增加了几分秀气，凭相辅相成。 亚洲第一高瀑云台天瀑。
Yes, this is the important part. I'll get us out of there so you can see I translated the subtitles. Part of their whole propaganda for this particular area, this Yuntai mountain region, and it's a scenic area. It's what they call a 5A scenic region, right? So it's A, and you see this on the signs. It's ridiculous. It's, but part of this whole attraction is the tallest waterfall in Asia, not just China, but in Asia, which is this Yuntai waterfall, right?
Yes.
Excellent, right? Bit slow. So you see this promotion and you're like, I want to go there. I want to see this tallest waterfall, right?
I also want to do kung fu under a waterfall.
Yes.
Said the customer.
Or that you go there expecting to see that.
Yes.
But they do have like performances and stuff there too. They always have those little fake villages with the fake.
It's not hentai waterfall. It's
Yun.
Yuntai.
Can you say yun? It means cloud.
Yes.
Okay, and anyway, let's take a look. So you get all these influencers go there, of course, because this is where you go. And you'll notice this one, you see it in all their videos, but this little sign here where it
I was going to
says...
say it's in all of their promos.
Yeah, you always see this like sign that says, oh, come look, this is great waterfall. And it's like, I love you, 我爱你, je t'aime, je t'aime, or
我在云
je
台上
t'aime.
很像你. I'm at Yuntai Mountain and I really miss
Yes,
you.
exactly. So it's like,
This is
it's a
love
typical
you,
Instagrammer type spot,
Yeah,
or, not in China,
Nah,
because Instagram's blocked. Yeah, so it'll be like,
It's Douyin.
Douyin and all that nonsense.
Weiboers.
Yeah. So you see a lot of these. By the way, even when these influencers go to like show off, I can't help but notice little details like these concrete stairs that are so badly constructed.
This is a 5A, which is one of the highest.
This is
right?
this is the top.
Yes, the top. I say that because I've seen 12A.
Yeah,
right?
sometimes the local governments just tack on a couple of A's, you know,
because you got to be the highest.
Yeah.
But anyway, 5A should be like you should be getting served like from a golden chalice and being fed grapes,
Sure.
the highest quality, right?
Yeah.
But look at that.
The steps. Because I mean, I took this directly from one of those influencers who's doing that whole like, look how beautiful it is. But I'm like, wait a second, those steps look like something that I would build in my backyard if I was drunk using mud.
Yes.
You know, and bits of leftover
they
deer.
Just quickly.
I mean, look at it. It's like, what else? I mean, look at this horrible concrete and stuff, you know? Anyway, just saying.
Well, that skunk that died the other day.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is from one of those. He influencers like, oh, look, it's great. And then they like fly the Chinese flag there. But looking, and this is the thing, this is only after this revelation, because you all know by now this is a fake waterfall, right?
Yes.
But before we even show you what the hiker found, I was looking at some of these old influencers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And noticed something in their footage. Take a look.
Go back one.
What do you say?
Can you see that?
Ah, good enhancement, by the way.
That is a pipe that goes up the side
You
there.
enhanced that photo.
Yeah, I did. Let's see. I'll get us out of here.
Zoom in right here on this spot.
With the right equipment, the image could be enlarged and sharpened.
What's that?
I'm sure everybody could see it, right? The pipe.
Yeah.
It goes up. You see little bits of white on the side because they very poorly disguised it. And let's keep looking.
Enhancement program.
Can you clear that up any?
I don't know. Let's enhance it.
Enhance section A6.
I enhanced the detail.
See the influencers down there, by the way? See the influencers doing their like, way, waterfall. Let me do exactly what everyone else did, you know? That kind of nonsense. Yeah, yay, let's see.
Wait, stop.
Stop. Pause it.
Stop.
Ah, nice. I see.
So you can see that even in this older influencer footage from years ago.
Yeah, this is pre-exposed.
Yeah, you can see the pipe. It's there. Okay.
因为我千辛万苦跑到云台天空源头去看见一个水管这件事情。
在香港纪录片。
Exactly. Anyway, on June 3rd, so that was only a couple days ago, guys, for those of you keeping track of the date. I know not all of us know what day it is today, but this was just
the
literally
7th.
a few days ago. A hiker, was like, this is such a beautiful waterfall. I'd like to see the source. I'd like to go up, you know, like, what is the source? And it was like,
source is that I made it the f up.
literally the
That's very
Chinese government
true.
made it
the
up.
F
Yeah.
up. So technically, he went up there, and this is apparently what people that chatted to him said. He wanted to see, because the water's coming spraying down white like that, he wanted to see the pool of water if it was clear, and he wanted to see what color it was.
Yeah, at the top.
Yeah.
But when you reach the top, which is a very difficult hike, there's no like trail to go up
You
there.
guys say hentai waterfall one more time.
It's Yuntai.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, he climbed up to the top and he noticed that there were just big rusty pipes gushing this water out. And he was like, what the hell? So he posted it, right?
What a beautiful waterfall. How come I've never seen it before? That's what he said.
That's exactly what he said, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a pipe chilling there.
It's actually more than one, I think.
It's pipes.
I believe it's more than one pipe.
It's not say un pipe. It's say many pipes.
Yeah.
They had
Either way.
French. They had French there. So
Oh, yeah,
it's
that's
being
true.
accommodating.
Here's another angle for those of you, because, you know, we always see the one angle. Maybe it is only one pipe at this particular one.
No,
But
could be.
what you see is, okay, over here. See this stuff, by the way, is just concrete. Can you see this?
Yeah, so the whole... so, you know, people were like... I don't want to get into, like, the pushback. What I do want to get into is, like, people were saying, oh, well, it's just a pipe. Maybe, like, who cares if you can still see the view? This is the pushback I was seeing on the Chinese internet. Some people were like, well, you still get the view. Who cares, right? But the whole thing is fake. And I watched this old man talk about it.
Yeah, there's a pipe.
And he was like, listen, yeah, I get that, right? This Chinese guy is super white. I wish I put it in there. He goes, but we live in such a fake world, especially here in China. We live in these cities, these big cities where everything around us is fake. So when we go and make a trip to someplace like this, we expect something to come from heaven, from God.
Yeah.
If we go there and we find out it's fake, yeah, we still got the view, but it feels cheap. It feels bad, he said. And it's not just the water that's fake. It's the whole setup, the concrete, the rock is fake.
Yeah, up there is fake. Now, to be fair, this is a waterfall, and it was originally a waterfall, but the problem is you cannot predict when it's going to run, and I believe it only during like rainy season or something it actually works.
Yes.
But because they need to attract people there, they need to make sure there's a waterfall for people to see. So without telling anyone, they made it fake.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. You see there's a pipe over there?
Yeah.
Over there? Anyway, let's take a look. So there it is when it's kind of going to the side. But here a guy went to film. Take a look, like immediately after figuring it out. Look.
这些水是下面抽上去的。
Yes, as this water is coming down from the top, but coming from down here.
水管在这里，
It's like, here's the pipe.
伪装成山体。
Take a look.
你看一下，这个就是水管，一直往上。
Like, look, this is just the pipe going up.
上面送。
I mean, look how badly that is done as well.
Why you gotta fake this kind of stuff?
Yeah.
It's so... You know what? Actually, I answer my own question. Because it works. They
Yeah.
got so many tourists. These posts were viral for years now.
Yeah,
And people want to go there. There's not a whole lot to see in Henan, if I'm totally honest with you.
yeah.
So this was very impressive, you
Yeah.
know? And it's just like...
It's just why you got to fake it,
It's
though.
such a lie, though. It's one thing if you do it and you go there and it's like you find out. But if you label it as Asia's tallest waterfall,
Yes.
come on.
I think it should be Asia's tallest...
pipe.
Yeah, exactly. Or sometimes Asia's tallest waterfall in the rainy season under certain conditions,
Yeah.
but most of the time not.
Yeah.
But I think they actually...
it's Yazhou Di
Yeah.
Shuiguan.
Yeah, Shuiguan, it is.
地高水管.
The problem is that they advertise it as a continuous waterfall, as if it's
Yeah.
always running.
Yeah.
As Asia's largest waterfall. Not Asia's largest cliff
Tallest,
tallest cliff that sometimes water comes over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, anyway, this he goes up.
往上面送水，然后一直往上面送水。哦，有看到吗？有看到吗？
He's like, can you see it just going up and up?
然后送到
You're
最
gonna
上
fake
面
it, do it
好
better.
从这里
Yes, yes.
然后再从这里，然后还在往上，往上面，哦，
Yeah.
到山上。
It's like, there it goes.
Such a Guangdong guy, by the way.
You could
Went
tell.
all the way up there. Think about it. It's a big trip.
Yeah, it is.
把水放下来了，好。
So, in response, because, the thing is, they got caught out. They didn't tell anyone about this. Like, I think if they had been upfront about it and said, listen, during the dry seasons, we'll, run something there so that you guys can have the full experience or
Yeah,
something.
something like that.
But they didn't. They just hid it. They just pretended it as if this is, Asia's tallest continuous waterfall.
Sure.
Which it's not.
Yeah.
But because somebody exposed it and it went viral, the Henan government put out this statement, okay? But they did it in a tricky way. They made it as if the waterfall itself was explaining its actions. So, I mean, here I put up a translation so we can read it, right? Dear friends, hi, I didn't expect to communicate and meet you all in this way.
So this is the waterfall speaking.
The waterfall is speaking, yeah. I am Yuntai Taipo, Tianpo, one of many natural water Wait, natural, my ass. Anyway,
What's your
natural
source
water...
on that?
Yeah, what's your source on
My
that?
source is that I made it the up.
Can't believe we're arguing with a waterfall.
I know, exactly.
I'm
One
going
of
to
the-
call him out a few times.
Yes. One of the many natural water landscapes in the Yuntai mountain scenic area. I am 314 meters tall, majestic. Okay, this is a bad translation. And the water is majestic. I kiss the blue sky above and jump on the rocks below. But as a seasonal landscape, due to seasonal factors, I cannot guarantee that when you come to see me, you will be able to meet me in the most beautiful posture at any time. In order to enrich the tour experience of my friends... Oh, I better go back there. Sorry. Waterfall speaking, Yeah. Enrich the tour experience of my friends and make your trip from afar worthwhile. I made a small improvement during the dry season, just to be able to meet my friends in a better state.
How manipulative
Yeah.
is this?
Thanks again to all tourists and netizens for their attention and support. Yuntai Waterfall will not disappoint everyone. The coming summer flood season, I will present my magnificence in the most perfect and original manner. I look forward to seeing you in midsummer. Yuntai Mountain, yours
You know what
dearly.
all I heard was kind of like watery sound.
Like, oh, yeah, we haven't had that for a while. Where even is that? Where-
Spot there.
yeah, I've no idea where that
gone?
is. No, it's still here somewhere. I'll find it eventually. Where was it? I've moved it somewhere. It's got to be here. Give me a second. This is losing its.
Yeah, well, the joke is dead now. The joke is
Where
so
even is
dead.
it?
The Waterfall won.
Yeah,
The Waterfall won, beat us.
yeah, it beat us.
I was about to make fun of the Waterfall, but we got no soundbite on.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to
Untapped.
throw in something like this.
You gotta understand, China.
Just for now.
Fair
I know
enough.
that's not what you were looking for.
Dang,
Yeah.
dude.
I don't know where that
is it?
went.
Glug.
Well, they got rid of him, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, back to this, guys. So this is their excuse.
Sexy up there going.
Yeah, exactly.
He's the
doing
pipe.
yeah, exactly.
Wang
He's the
Wenbin
pipe.
is the pipe.
Yeah, he is. I don't know where
Yeah,
that
and that
went.
would make that was a great joke. We're
It's-
sitting here, guys. You're watching us flounder.
It's
We're
too-
drowning
it's
in
too
this
late.
in this waterfall.
It's too late. So basically,
Piss frog. Give me that.
we can do that.
This is a better waterfall.
Yeah, that's a better waterfall. So, guys, this is their excuse. Their excuse is that, like we don't want your trip to be ruined and you come here and there's no waterfall. So we made a little enhancement. But if you actually want to see the natural thing, come during this one specific time when it only happens. But they're still going to keep running it anyway.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to unpack and understand when it comes to how the Chinese government fakes things. They fake everything. And this is just a very good example of that. But you know what? People started to dig a little deeper.
Yes.
And it's not just this one waterfall. I mean, take a look, for instance, here in the same scenic spot. Look at this beautiful shot that you get from up here from one of those little scenic things. But let's enhance again. Enhance. Enhance. What's that? Oh, it's just a rusty pipe feeding the waterfall. Yeah. How about this other waterfall? It's not in the same. This is not the same waterfall, by the way. And this is even faker because there's not even a river up there.
No, that's what here's the deal. There's this fantasy is where they make these AI images, like these AI videos, right?
Yeah, look, there's pipes. Can you see those 3 pipes
But they
feeding
have these
this
like
one?
where these like waterfalls are all over these mountains, and people are like, wow, look at that.
Yeah.
And they're trying to recreate that in real life.
Yeah, those like old Chinese
Yeah, yeah.
paintings and stuff. Yeah, look at that. There's 3 pipes feeding this fake waterfall. But then again, this is not something new for China. Fake waterfalls are a thing. And they're quite common, actually. For instance, let's take a look. Found this video from a guy from 3 years ago who is going around in Zhengcheng, and we both know Zhengcheng because we used to go there a lot.
Used to ride motorcycles
It's
there.
near to Guangzhou,
Yeah.
and I used to go ride my off-road bikes there in the logging areas. So I'll just play this little bit from his video. His link is in the description if you want to go check it out, but take a look.
And we cycled past this huge waterfall, and one of the lads said that he heard something that this waterfall was fake. Don't quite understand how a waterfall can be fake, first of all. I did some research into it, and there was a few contradicting things. I found 2 websites that basically said that it was man-made. Other websites are saying that it's the tallest waterfall in the whole of China, with a drop of 428 meters, something like that. So anyway, today I'm going to go and find out if this waterfall is fake or what's fake about it, because I honestly don't quite understand.
Yeah,
Here we
waffle.
go. We finally found it. So this is hidden. You couldn't see this from the floor, and I didn't actually notice it until looking back at this footage, but here is clearly where all the water's coming out from.
StockYouTubeMusic.org. You know what I mean? Sky don't lie.
So this is the same spot, one taken in the morning and one taken in the evening, where at around 6 o'clock they turned the waterfall off. In theory, it is a fake waterfall because they can turn it off. So I think that it once upon a time was a waterfall, and they obviously pump water now from another water source to keep the waterfall going. You would not know it was fake until they literally turn it off. They turned the waterfall off.
Yeah. So that particular waterfall in Zhengcheng, I went to go look, and there's some reviews.
We've actually been to there.
Yeah, we've been there.
Yeah.
We just didn't go up. It's one of those
Yeah, we
AAA
were like,
tourist things. It's like
We rode right by it.
Yeah, it's like 999 steps or 9,000, whatever, to get to the top.
Yeah.
They have a big thing.
Yes.
And it's exactly like that other place. It's got
Yeah.
those signboards and the spots where you can stop and take your pictures and things. But I liked some of these reviews. This guy, despite appearances, this is actually an artificial man-made waterfall. From the
2018.
bottom, it looks authentic, but when you get to the top, the water comes out of a giant pipe from the reservoir. Very disappointed to see that. The route is well maintained with many viewing platforms along the way.
2 out of 5. Would not visit again.
Now, this guy's comment resonated with me quite well. And I think anyone who's ever lived in China for a long time. He's like, well, it's something to do if you're in the area. Man-made natural waterfall and hiking path would be pleasant enough attraction in the autumn. But like so many things here, it was crowded on a Saturday afternoon. And I hate to think how it is on a national holiday. It's quite well constructed, but the hike is primarily 4,000 concrete steps to the top and back down again, which is very challenging after a while. Each scenic viewpoint on the way is a social media photo opportunity, so forget trying to pretend you're alone in the wilderness. It's something to do if you're in the area, but you wouldn't go out of your way to visit here, and the sheer crush of people acting inconsiderately to each other makes it a wearing experience rather than anything back to nature. I think we can all agree that that's 99.9% of Chinese tourist spots.
Yes.
It's just a queue to get to the top, and
It
it
is.
can be quite
You
frustrating.
wait in line for hours and hours to see a foggy, smoggy thing that you can't see.
Yeah.
That's like the prettiest stuff we found in China were not tourist destinations,
Yes.
stuff we found by ourselves because
Absolutely.
of locals we met that guided us places.
Absolutely.
These AAAAAAs usually suck.
And on top of that, they always have to fake it. Everything's fake there. You know, they'll have like a wooden rail, but
Yes.
it's concrete.
Yes,
You
yes.
know?
The fake, and a lot of the times they're collapsed.
Yeah, they're
'cause
broken
so
and
heavy.
rebar is there, you know? You're like,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Or they'll have a giant billboard of what it's supposed to look like so you can take your picture in front of it.
Yes, exactly. So anyway, this is not just an isolated incident, this fake waterfall. I mean, this has gone viral now because they were trying their best to... Look at the lovely waterfall behind us now, by the
That's
way.
a natural
But
waterfall.
because they were trying their best to pretend that this was a natural waterfall, but it wasn't.
Yes.
And people just discovered it. Of course, they're kind of mad because think about how many people traveled there specifically to see this. And they're proud of it too. You know, this is our China. We have the largest, the tallest waterfall in Asia. And it's something to be proud of. You saw them, they have their Chinese flags out and stuff. And
sure.
imagine it turns out to be fake.
That's right.
Anyway, we've got another word and then we'll get into it.
I drink AG1 every single day, and so do
Yeah,
you.
me too. I love drinking AG1.
One thing we noticed, at least I noticed, was that my energy levels were down. I had no energy after work to work out, do anything, any sort of exercise. That all changed when I started drinking AG1 every single day. Absolutely love
Yeah,
it.
what were you doing?
I just got cold.
Just working out.
Exactly. That was fantastic. Good use. Good
Finally,
use. You
huh?
came back.
Okay.
Fueling my body with whole foods is important, but every diet has its nutrient gaps, including mine. That's why I always start my day with AG1. It ensures that I'm filling my nutritional gaps and supporting my whole body health, and I'm starting my day off right. And I also trust AG1 because, unlike so many products, the entire formula is backed by research studies, not just the ingredients. AG1 is packed with a variety of nutrient-dense ingredients and is the perfect complement to my healthy diet. I drink it because I know it's gonna work and it's gonna give me the peace of mind by covering my nutritional bases. If there's one product that I trust to support my whole body health, it's AG1, and that's why we've partnered with them for so long. It's easy and satisfying to start your journey with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/ADV. That's drinkag1.com/ADV. Check it out.
Yes, and a big thank you and a big shout out to AG1. Absolutely life-changing and can recommend 100%.
Yes.
All right, guys, so now we're going to get into this this next segment of ours, which is still part of Soft Power Hour, I'd say. It's kind of weird.
is, but it's-
we're encapsulating Beyond the Great Firewall and Slopaganda into Soft Power Hour. So let me bring it up for you guys.
Yeah, let me
It's,
set this up. So it's great. Beyond the Great Firewall is when we find stuff on the Chinese internet that you are not meant to see because
Yes.
China doesn't want you to see this kind of stuff. They block things that go in and out. So
This is very related to what we're talking about today.
100%. So while you were looking up waterfall stuff, I started looking
I was
up.
chasing waterfalls.
You were- don't go-
I should
don't go
I should have been
chasing
sticking to the
water.
rivers and the lakes that I'm used to.
Correct. And that would actually, I'm glad you chased the waterfall because you chased it up, you enhanced it.
Yes, exactly.
Zoomed it, pinch zoom.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything's clear as day now.
Very
It's
much
fake.
so. Yeah.
At the same time, I started doing some digging. I said, this probably goes beyond just waterfalls. Because of my experience in China, your experience in China, we've seen so many things that are fake, especially at tourist destinations.
The worst thing is okay, my experience in China was when I went out to explore and I go to a new city, a new area, I would love to go out and explore and find things. But if you had a Chinese friend with you, they would always want to drag you to the tourist place. And those were always the most disappointing places to me.
Every
like,
time.
oh, you got to see the terracotta warriors or whatever. And they drag you there. And you're like, I don't want to go. I really don't want to go. But they're like, no, you're going to love it. And you go there and you're like, wow, this is amazing. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, this is just so disappointing. I don't want to be here.
Absolutely. I don't want to be Marco Polo here, but like the best experiences I had was when I purposefully ignored people and went to go meet other people.
Yes.
When I would say, no, I don't want to go see the Great Wall right now. I've already seen it, right? And there's some section.
By the way, the Great Wall, man, I forgot to put the pictures in, but the Great Wall was renovated with literal cinder blocks and cement very recently. The stuff you see when you go to Beijing is just a recreation. It's not the real thing. It's like the fake waterfall. The Great Wall of China, huge sections, those tourist areas are just fake.
I went to the real sections
Yes,
that had not been touched.
crumbled
and
and fallen down,
and crumbled. It's still cool to see.
Yeah.
But anyway, I would go to, like, for example, I remember one time I decided to go to Ningxiao, which is one of the least visited places in China. It's this Muslim province, and it was fantastic. Had absolute genuine experiences, met some of the coolest people in my entire life.
Yeah.
And had an amazing time, and that's because it wasn't an A.
Exactly.
You know? Anyway, thinking back on that, I was like, there's got to be other stuff, right?
Oh, we found
So
some
did
great
digging.
stuff, and you found an amazing section here. Let's take a look. Okay. So
here, we've shown something like this, but this has been taking off in China. These like tractor pulled
there's
carts.
reality.
Here's reality.
Yeah.
You go to these grassland areas and you have these tractors pulling these carts, but actually in real life, they're basically sawed off like
Barrels.
right?
Yeah.
And it's dusty, it's crap, it's polluted, right?
So we just wanted to show you a couple of these fantasy versus reality
Yes.
type things here. Okay, and here you can see the reality of it compared to the fantasy. Because, the problem is we live in a world these days where people just look at social media and take it at face value.
Yes.
And they don't seem to realize that anyone with a little bit of know-how, not even know-how these days, just with filters, can make any place look amazing.
For sure. For sure.
Whereas it's just normal, ordinary.
This next
boring.
place is going viral in China as a place to have these canopy of trees, basically.
Yeah, look at that. Doesn't that look cool?
Autumn leaves and stuff, and you go there and you take your photo, and it's like you're enveloped.
But that's what it actually
That's
looks
what
like.
it really looks like. And it's not that it's bad. It's just that there's tons
Misrepresented.
of people there. It's been saturated out the wazoo and manipulated.
Yeah.
Right? It's not genuine.
It's like a dating profile picture.
Yes. This is amazing. So you see this, pause this.
Okay.
First, you gave it away.
Okay.
There was,
go back.
and this is a phenomenon that you'll have to understand. This is an Asia/China thing.
Mm-hmm.
So people will see this, for some reason, it became incredibly popular to take a picture of this old building
Yes.
with some tulips in front of it.
Yes.
Meaning that people think there's going to be this wide field of tulips and you get to see this beautiful old
Yes,
preserved
yes.
building, right? But actually, it's people, when they went to go do the same photo, it's one pot. It's one.
Just the one pot.
It's one pot of flowers.
This must be in Shanghai with that building, right?
Yeah, I believe so. It's one pot of flowers, and people go there and they're like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah. Okay, so what's this going on here?
So this is like the stairway to heaven or whatever, and it's impressive, right? But here's reality.
Yeah.
They had to actually block off the center stairs so that people don't continue climbing up because it's too dangerous, obviously. And people are getting hurt.
Now, how about this beautiful canopy of flowers thing?
Yeah, so this is supposed to envelop you as you walk through, right?
Okay.
Very impressive. Beautiful. Look at that.
Wait, what is that really?
This is the same area.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
It's okay. You'll see.
All right.
They're like, where's the...
Wait, yeah, where is it? Yeah, did you see that? Yeah, that's true. So,
Like, it's not... Like, that was so ridiculously manipulated. It's not even the same thing anymore.
yes. No, it's not. And I get it if you're not in the season where it's like sprouting or, blooming, but also that is just ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah, that's like,
I mean, that's just like, I mean, what they've done, and I can explain this to you, is you can go into Photoshop or you can go into Final Cut or Adobe or whatever, and you can actually take the tool to make any hue. So let's say I want to take that green. I can take multiple shades of green, feed it into the program and say, turn all of this shade into this shade.
yeah, and they can also take like a single flower and,
Yes.
and duplicate it in different ways.
You can do that too. But what we've seen is that there will be these scenes of this beautiful thing and all the trees are pink. It looks like something out of Dr. Seuss.
Yeah.
And what they've done is just hue manipulation.
They have, yeah. What's going on here, by the way? What is this ridiculous scene?
So this is a beautiful winter wonderland where you climb to the top and then you lock something up. You lock a lock up there for good luck.
Oh, okay, it's one of those type things.
Let's see. So it
Looks great.
looks nice. It's cute. You go up there. You go up through the snow. Here's reality.
Yes, this is every single freaking time, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. This happened to me every time you go up to like the top of a very well-known scenic spot in China. You're confronted with just fog or smog or a combination of
It's
the
usually
two.
a combination of both. I like to think the smog grabs onto the fog.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. So what's going on here? This beautiful like meow minority, right? Is that?
Yep. Sitting on this
Yeah.
beautiful bridge.
You get to dress up like the minority that
They
link
do a
to
lot
the
of
clothes.
minority cosplay
Yeah.
in China.
Yeah, it's very popular.
In reality, it's
That's
this,
the reality.
which
yeah.
is not bad. The
No, it's
issue
not.
the issue here is you get to see what you have to do to get there.
Yeah.
You ready?
Okay. To get to this
To get
place.
to that bridge.
Okay. What do you got to do?
In a country where a huge chunk of the people don't have any experience of swimming, you have to
Oh,
walk
that's
through rushing water.
That's
that
scary.
Far. I mean, that's far.
Yeah.
That's far, and those are small stones.
Yeah, that's scary.
And they're slippery too.
So what's going on here? We got some kind of cascading waterfall type rice paddy looking things.
Really pretty, right?
Yeah, it looks great. I'd love
Pause
to.
it there, though. I want to point something out. That guy on the bottom there.
Yeah.
I mean, you're standing in this idyllic. What's supposed to be idyllic?
Yeah.
What is supposed to be idyllic? You're standing in this idyllic location, and he's on his phone, kicking the water, just like, checking his phone. Like,
Sure.
aren't you supposed to be enjoying the place?
And no, the photos are more important than the experience itself. So he's probably checking his phone. He's listening to
like,
WeChat. Yeah.
he's like listening to WeChat messages.
That's
This
the
is
reality. That's the actual place.
I love this.
Why is there a fish?
I love that she just grabbed.
Why is she holding a fish?
She obviously caught one.
Like
in
a
there.
dead fish?
Yeah, but she caught it.
Yeah.
But I love the juxtaposition here.
Yeah, these are the same places. So what's been going on is there are certain people on the Chinese internet who see these beautiful spots, and an influencer in China is called a Wang Hong,
Yes.
okay, which is like a net red,
Yep.
which basically means an internet celebrity.
Yeah,
And so,
that's what it means.
these internet celebrities go to these places and show off these beautiful spots around China.
Mm-hmm.
And so then you've got these people that go there and then they're confronted with reality and they're like, what is this?
Yeah, and actually, these posts are starting to get flagged, and they're getting to kind of push down the algorithm right now because like people are getting disappointed, and it's not
Yeah.
political, so they can post it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like the local governments can put super big pressure on people that
Yeah.
do these expose videos because they're doing it as a joke, and also because they feel cheated.
Yeah.
Because they pay menpiao. They have to
Yeah.
buy like a gate ticket.
It's an entrance
to get
fee.
in, entrance fee.
Yeah.
So the people, think about it, a lot of people that do domestic tourism are low to middle class. When I say middle class, you're making what? Maybe $1,000 a month if you're lucky, right?
Yeah.
So you save up all this money to go buy maybe 100 RMB ticket, which is a big
which
deal
is a
per
big deal.
person,
Yeah.
right? To go into one of these places, and then it looks like this, and you're like,
What?
screw it,
This
I'm
is
gonna,
like,
I'm
yeah.
gonna catch a fish to get my money's worth,
sure,
right?
Sure. Yeah. Okay, so how about let's see some more of these. Now that looks beautiful.
Absolutely.
Doesn't
right?
that look stunning?
does.
I'll get us out of there so people can see it. I look at that and I'm like, wow, that looks amazing. I'd really like to go there.
I mean, I can see it's been completely manipulated.
that's
but
the
this is
reality
real.
of it.
It's like there's like tractor tracks
It's
and billion people everywhere walking around.
I
on
mean,
that
and
thing.
the amount of manipulation you have to do to get to change the horrible hue of the sand to like, look at that. That looks incredible. But, the problem is these days with software manipulation, it's very easy to change brown water into blue. And that's what's happening here.
Yes.
And like crap brown sand into that lovely golden, looking
Well,
sand.
look at the sky too. That's
Yeah.
been so selectively saturated.
Yeah, everything about this is very post-processed, and I think that's the problem. When people look at this stuff, they see it as face value. When you see that thing on Instagram, or when you see it on Twitter, and it's like China's beautiful China or something, China's new green technology, they show this kind of thing, And you're like, wow, that looks really good. China's really got this problem sorted. But in reality, they haven't. In reality, it looks like this.
Yes,
You know?
absolutely. And it's just very like it's a lot.
very meh.
Yeah, it's mid.
It's like it would not go there. Same with this. Like, look at how
idyllic
yes, it doesn't look.
train as people stand there. Oh, it's beautiful.
And then this is like the
This
reality.
is what it is. People, and the thing is, pause it there real quick.
Yeah.
The people, the reason this was so hype, yeah, this one.
Yeah.
The reason that's so hype is that people were like, stand on the mere finished water, and the salt flats are so fine.
Yeah.
It's like a luxurious experience, and they're like, what the heck? This is like coarse ass sand.
Yeah, I know. That's like, what is this? That's not beautiful mirror finish,
No.
Yep.
Look at this. This is like some promo. This woman, oh, look at how idyllic this place is. Come take your photos
Was she
here.
reading Simp magazine? What the hell is Simp
So I was
magazine?
watching this and I was going through it. And I was like, there is absolutely no way she's reading a magazine called Simp, because the men should be reading that about her.
Yeah,
right?
that's
But
true.
I guess she's probably reading the fan letters.
Oh, yes,
You know,
yes.
it's Simp magazine. Let's see what these little marks have sent me this time.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, my OnlyFans is blowing up.
Yeah, Simp magazine.
whatever.
That's ridiculous, yeah. But okay, what is the reality of this place, though?
The reality of this place is pretty entertaining.
Okay, so
There's
look.
a lot of sheep, apparently.
This is the reality.
This is what it looks like.
Yeah.
I love, by the way, can you pause that there? It's probably my favorite element of this is the continuity or lack thereof.
Okay,
We're at
I'll
the
go
beginning
back.
of the bad part.
Okay, so wait, I kind of want to start that again so we can see
Yes.
what we're dealing with here. She's running by this idyllic fence with a bicycle. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I can already see it looks pretty ramshackle. Even in this like hyped up footage. But look at this. It's like, oh, look, there's like wood and hay bales and some magazine and sheep, right? Look at this. Oh, you can really connect with nature. But yeah, what is this?
Okay, so there's a Costco shipping container.
Yes.
Which I love. There's literally like a rusty shipping container.
Yes.
There's
buildings.
facades. There's buildings being built. The ghost
Yeah, with
buildings.
cranes.
With cranes.
Yeah, and tarp on them in the background.
With tarp. There's tarp.
There's a
right? I
freaking
just wanna
electric
analyze
line.
this.
Look at the electric cable line over there.
There's electric cable. There's also facades of a barn.
Yes.
Or like some sort of shed, but it's just the front.
Yeah, it's just like a thin piece of wood. You
Yes.
can see that white thing over there.
Yes.
That says, what does it even say on there? Like bar lamb or something?
By the way,
whatever.
it does. I
Can't see,
think
yeah.
this is Ballet. By the way, the sheep are like emaciated in comparison to the
those
the
fluffy
simp
ones.
one.
Yeah.
The simp sheep were like all fluffy and idyllic.
Like a tiny little canopy over there, like a piece of tablecloth over a pole.
Only lambs was what I meant to say. Not only fans.
Yes,
it's only lambs.
yeah. It's like
So this is my favorite part.
okay.
You have this what's supposed to look like some sort of bucolic Swiss-like scene.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's the sheep are running across the fields, maybe New Zealand.
Sure.
At a stretch. You have cacti,
Yeah, it's supposed to
fake cacti
and
growing
a
up
straw
next to this
stone wall.
Yeah, I mean, there's literally like a desert environment in this like deciduous, beautiful place, right? And then as it scrolls over,
And it's just what?
it turns out that this is basically in the outskirts of abandoned ghost buildings.
Yes.
Like it's just a ghost town.
Yeah.
And they had a lot, and they're like, how do we make money off this lot?
Yeah, exactly. Let's park a crap old truck and put
Yes.
hay in it. You know what this is? This is one of those photo op farm
Yes,
type things.
it
It's
is.
literally you go there to take photos to pretend you're in different environments.
农家乐.
Yeah. And
This
it's
is
like,
cool.
oh, look, we can take a photo and pretend we're in Mexico, with
Yeah.
a cactus and stuff. And then we can go
Yes.
take a photo and pretend we're in the Swiss Alps. And then we
Yeah.
can pretend we're on a farm. And look, there's sheep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
honey, put away your simp magazine. We're trying to take a photo here.
exactly. Now this looks special.
It does, right? Looks gorgeous.
Isn't that nice?
I would want to see what that alien-like environment is like.
Yeah. I mean,
Look
look
at those pools, the geyser pools. Like
Beautiful. Beautiful.
natural spring pools, right? This is what it looks like, by the way. Let's pause that for a second. I want you guys to take that in.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. In fact, let's try to get some of the pools in there. Do they actually have color to them?
No,
I mean,
barely.
Oh no, there is. Look,
There's like a faint hue.
and that's something that I would like people to realize is you see the amount of effort that goes into enhancing that muddy looking, barely colorful thing into like a beautiful green thing. like emerald green.
Yes.
From that.
You guys have some of the most hilarious and inappropriate comments I've ever seen.
I mean, in the other one, it looked like the antifreeze had leaked out of a car into
It
like
really-
certain pools,
but it
no.
was cool.
Yeah, exactly. And this time
Slime
looks
pools.
like lunch. The lunch woman had to mix like Kool-Aid, like lime flavored Kool-Aid, but added too much water. So there's barely any
that
Kool-Aid in it.
ectoplasm, it's
Yeah,
like that,
yeah.
through that high C drink or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
She added too much water.
Yeah,
to
too
it.
much water and like only a tablespoon into
Yes.
like a huge bucket.
Yes.
Yeah, anyway.
And the sugar spilled everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, let's just go back to that initial shot. You got to see the before and after one
It's
more
amazing.
time. Like, this is what you see when you watch Chinese propaganda.
Yes.
It's like, come to this beautiful AAA scene.
That's honestly, I'm not even joking. That's why this was so much more than just the waterfall pipe.
Yeah.
Like this implicates everything about how China works.
Yeah.
Like how their government works. Everything's not real.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all fake. The GDP numbers,
We went
the
to-
COVID numbers.
Yeah,
everything.
exactly. We went to, and not to bring up another tourist thing, but we went to go film something. We actually covered this on ADVChina at some point, but there was these beautiful birds. Some of the most beautiful birds I've
Oh,
ever
yes.
seen in my
Yeah,
life.
those
These
cranes. Yeah.
Gorgeous white, huge cranes.
It's exactly
They
this.
migrate.
Exactly
They migrate,
this.
right?
Well, they supposedly migrate.
Yeah, and so they whistle or something, and then all these beautiful cranes come over, and we're like, wow,
Yeah, come
that's
over a hill.
spectacular. So we flew our drone up. We're like, we want to see this from the sky.
And there were cages.
They were literally living in cages, endangered birds. They
Yeah.
have slave birds.
Yeah, they've trained them to
Yes.
fly out to get their
'Cause
food.
They're clever.
And then they're like whistle, and then they go back into their cages at the back. That's a perfect example.
Yeah,
and
that's
even if you look it up on Google Maps, the satellite
Yeah.
image, you can see the cages.
And the argument I made was, okay, yeah, China's ripping people off and lying and
Yeah.
whatever. But they've got an international grant money for these like preservation for these birds and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And the spectacle about it is all fake. It's
Yeah.
all lies. So it makes you wonder, where is this money actually going?
Yeah, exactly.
What are they actually doing with this?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I love this one. This is such a good before and after because you can't like make that up how
No.
bad it is. Look at what a contrast that is.
Yes. Literally a contrast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
They turned it up real high, the contrast.
Yeah. So what's this? This is like a Buddhist temple thing or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Oh well. Not many people around actually. Yeah.
Isn't that like a nightmare?
Yeah, exactly. All right, so what's this now?
Go ahead. Just play
Okay.
it. You'll see.
This is like a European style. Oh, you can get some nice pictures taken.
It's an ancient castle, they call it. Until
Ah.
you see this.
Looks
Wait
looks
till you
nice.
see this.
Wait, what?
That's this.
It's this. Yep. Dude, that
I mean,
is
this-
so normal.
Yes. Yes. You could almost see tangents of that in the tinges of that in the fake photos because it's so bad they couldn't
Yeah.
even cover it up.
Yeah, that's so normal. You go to these real estate developments and stuff, and they use them for photos. Like, remember Holstadt?
Yes.
How run down that
Yeah.
place
It was moldy and rotten.
Yep.
Yeah. It was absolutely disgusting.
All right, so we got a beautiful waterfall here. and-
Waffle.
Yeah, waffle.
As
Yeah.
the British guy said.
Yes.
So look, I love that one.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, you got to get them to turn it on for you.
You
again.
got to in China. You got to turn on the waterfalls. Dude.
Yes.
Always remember this.
Mm-hmm. What's this beautiful flower thing turns out to just be kind of lame?
There's just nothing there.
Yeah.
You know, this stuff people go and they sign up for this. What was on the package is not there, right?
Yeah. This looks gaudy as all heck.
Would you ever go in that carousel, by the way?
No.
That is actually a nightmare.
Yeah. No. Not after what I know. Maybe in the early days, I would have been like, yeah.
The one in red, though, is very progressive of them.
Sure.
It is.
I think it's supposed to be a woman.
Yeah.
Dude.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
It's very progressive.
It's supposed to
of
be
them.
like some lovers or something. But this is what it looks like in reality. Not very impressive, to be honest.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, and look at all that. It's just like a rusty treadboard with rivets. It's not, it's, you know what I mean?
It's always what it is.
It's just kind of bad. Yeah, look at this. Dude, every single time you see these propagandists, so like Xinjiang looks just like the Swiss Alps.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't. Okay? There are beautiful areas.
Yes.
I hate the way they always have to try to compare, though.
Yeah.
It's like, how about just say Xinjiang is beautiful? Why is it got to be like Xinjiang is the Swiss Alps of China, or you know, Sanya is the Hawaii of China? How about Sanya is the Sanya of
Maldives
China?
of China.
Yeah, exactly. Why you always got to compare? That's bringing yourself down a notch. That means it's not good enough
Not
to be
good
its own
enough.
thing.
It's like I had to stay in China.
There's no one saying like whatever part of their country is the Sanya of their country.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
because it'll always be below.
Because Sanya sucks.
Yeah, it's true. But I mean, like, this is such a great example.
Yeah.
You see, fantasy versus reality. This is the exact same place, except just not with your Instagram filters and whatnot. Look at that. Dude, it's, like...
I like that they don't have a scarecrow. They have a picture of a scarecrow.
Picture of a scarecrow.
Just make a scarecrow, dude.
Here's the thing is, because we've both seen this with our own eyes, we know that this is the truth.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And this is the big problem, and this is the pitfall for most people haven't been to these places in China.
Yeah.
They haven't been to China full stop. So all they get to see are these manicured images. Look how amazingly beautiful it looks in the fake, dolled up propaganda version. But look at reality. It's not great.
No.
Okay.
This is a great one.
Yeah, look at that.
This pier was famous for photo shoots, and look at it.
There's just trash everywhere.
Pure trash.
Yeah.
And it's gray. Look at the water. It's been artificially manipulated.
Yes, the water's just brown gray stuff. I'll go back to that quickly because that's a fantastic example again. Is when you look at the fantasy image, which has been manipulated, as you say, it looks very nice. Still rusty and what have you.
Yeah, but it's
looks
like
nice.
It's like going out to the sea.
They purposefully don't shoot all the trash that's there. And look, we're guilty of that too.
When we were in China, we used to do that.
When
to
we were
save
in China,
China's face.
we honestly would go through these horrible places where there's lots of homeless people and trash everywhere and stuff, but we would on
People
purpose
burning
not film
garbage
it. Yeah,
everywhere.
we didn't film it. Because, I mean, it's kind of like a self-censorship. You know that if you did show that side of China, you get into trouble.
Yeah, and it's also,
But
we
it's
didn't want to
also,
make China look bad.
we didn't want to make it, we were like, oh, we'll forgive it. China's constantly progressing. They'll get rid of this problem eventually. But it was actually a bad idea. We should have been more honest about that type of thing.
Yeah.
Again, this is fantasy versus reality, See, the reality is you got a brown-ass sea and...
The seas are so brown in China. Remember that?
Yeah.
The ocean was always such... when you see the sea when you're somewhere else and it's always like...
Blue.
It used to be so nice to be able to see the sea when
Yeah.
we used to live out west. But when you go and you look at the sea, there's something refreshing about it.
Yeah.
When you get to see the ocean or whatever.
Yeah.
And in China, whenever you got to see the ocean, it always looked like crap.
Yeah.
There was some times, very rarely, and I made sure I filmed the crap ton. I made whole YouTube videos about it when it was nice out.
Yeah.
But it's usually just very smoggy and gross. And
Yeah, I
brown.
mean, kind of like the reality side of this.
Yeah.
Fantasy, you can even see, like, if you look closely, the hue is a bit brown there,
Yeah.
even though they've messed with it, right?
Yeah.
That's fantasy versus reality. This is the exact
Same
same
spot.
place, right? Dude. We're not joking when we say that if you go to a tourist spot in China, you queue. You go there to queue up.
You line up.
So you see these lovely pictures of like a caravan on camels. Mm-hmm. In reality, you're literally in a hundreds of people's long queue being led on a camel.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
No.
I don't think it's fun. Do you think that's fun?
Absolutely not.
Would you want to do that?
No, I actually got to ride a single camel in the middle of Inner Mongolia. We
Yeah.
herded camels.
Yeah, we
How
herded
cool was
camels,
that?
yeah.
We herded wild camels that this Mongolian couple had lost.
Yes.
And we herded them with our
motorcycles. Yeah, that was
We actually
super fun.
genuinely helped them out.
Yeah.
And it was
I
really
remember
fun.
chasing
It's one
those
of the-
camels. It was insane.
Those experiences exist in China,
Yeah.
but you have to go find them.
Yeah.
You have to do that. And unfortunately, that's harder and harder every day.
Yeah.
You know?
So we just wanted to bring it to light that this fake waterfall thing is not something out of the ordinary. It's actually just ordinary.
Yes.
It's common.
Yeah.
Fakery in China is very common.
It's rampant. I
And
could have gone all day with that segment, by the way.
We've
I had
got,
to cut it off.
Yeah, we've got a lot more that we could show you. But we still have a lot more to do in the show. So let's first of all remind everybody out there that we have this Monday show, which is pretty awesome. And this is what you missed. Not a black screen, I promise. It's coming. This is one of the like most cringe, horrible memories that I have because
It's kind of a theme for this show.
what I saw on that camera, it kind of scarred me. And she's doing that, crawling around, doing like, dude looked like jerky. He was like a really old man. You know what I mean? He just looked like jerky.
And I can actually look back and pinpoint the moments where I became a douchebag. It was the Shape of Your Heart from NSYNC, if my memory
I'm gonna
serves
puke
me
in my mouth here. It's like, ugh. Yeah.
Whatever, dude.
He said, "Open your mouth." Then he put into his mouth a hot piece of quartz. Then they beat the bride in.
What is the moral of that story?
There is no moral. That's just the story.
Can you pause it?
Yeah.
On the one of the scenes from that episode, so I can explain. I've been waiting to explain.
Oh yeah, you
because
wanted to explain this, didn't you?
So yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
So the reason I look so outlandish is that we had our 100th episode. By the way, just shout out to patreon.com/ADVpodcast. That's where we have our Monday show every Monday.
Yeah.
It's called Xiaoban Ho. It's an extra show. It's a special show. It's what we do with the stuff we can't talk about here on YouTube.
Yep.
It's only patrons get access to it, and it's the best way to support us. So you get a whole nother show. But we ended up getting up to 100 episodes. So for our 100th episode celebration, the people on Discord had some sort of vote that they put up themselves.
Yep.
And they voted that they wanted to hear some like cringe story time in costume.
Sure.
So you dressed up like a South African.
Well, like an Afrikaner.
Yeah. Dutchman.
Yep.
Like one of those explorer pilgrim dudes. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
They wear
Afrikaner.
those. They wear
Yeah.
those.
Yeah, twee clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I dressed, and you told stories from South Africa.
Yeah, some African folklore stories.
Yes.
A lot of jackals and hyenas and stuff.
Yes. And also tied them to your real life.
Yeah, and also some actual stories, yeah.
And I called it Descent into Douchery, which is
Yeah.
age 13 through 17 when I became a douchebag. So I literally transported myself back to that time. And in order to do that, I was much darker back then. So I had to spray tan, which I had never done before, and I don't know how to do. And I think that clearly shows. So I also spiked and waxed my hair up. I wore puka shell necklaces. I went the whole 9 yards. I
Yeah.
popped my collar.
It's pretty bad.
And I got into that character, and that was good for the show.
Yeah.
But stupid me
Yeah.
thought, okay, well, now that that's over, I have to get back to my normal life.
Yeah.
So I go to take a shower. I think it just set in more because it got worse and
Dude.
worse. The next consecutive days, it was worse.
Yes, you looked ridiculous.
I looked unbelievable.
You look like Mega Trump.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. And I still am dealing. Can you make me big?
Yeah, sure thing.
I'm still dealing with this. Like, can you see this?
Looks like you got vitiligo.
Yeah, but like tan and
Yeah.
white.
Dude, it's so funny because you released this
So
video.
yeah, I released my actual video for Lao 86.
Yeah.
And I had to film it the next day. And so I looked even worse. I literally had, remember that thing I just told you
Yeah.
about changing the hue
Yeah.
in editing? I had to do that to
He
myself.
had to change, so he still looks bad, but we went through all the color science to actually
Yes.
change him from looking like a glowing orange popsicle into,
Yes.
a semi-normal
But
looking
even then,
hue.
like everyone's like, "Oh my gosh,
Dude, you
look
have to show the
ridiculous."
original footage sometime.
It's I will.
Yeah.
I will. It's crazy
It's
how
so
dumb
bad.
I look.
It's so bad. Yeah.
But yeah, glad you guys stuck around for that. But what I
Yeah.
want to say is that we want to thank you guys, the people that have been there for
Oh,
100
dude.
episodes.
It's
It's
amazing.
crazy.
It's amazing.
And if you get access, if you want to join the Patreon, you get access to all 100 episodes and then everything going forward. I just want to show you some of the stuff we've been doing recently.
Oh, okay. Let's get back to that then. Yeah.
So from that was a fun
NSYNC.
one.
Yeah.
I thought that was a very fun. I think Dragonella said something like it was the coziest episode we've done so far. It was
Oh,
just
that's nice.
It was a great hangout session with you guys. It was super fun.
Yeah, it was the 100th episode.
It was.
By the way, you know what you're wearing there is
Yes.
what was considered a traditional Chinese minority costume.
Yeah, we've explained
Remember?
this, but yeah.
It's hilarious.
Also, apparently supporting Pride Month, as you can see.
Yeah, apparently.
And
Yeah.
leather, what is it, leopard print? Like
it's like
tiger,
zebra print, but in leopard colors.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that he had that costume is it's when I was teaching a bunch of doctors at this hospital, and they had a performance, and they dressed up as Chinese minorities, right? And I made a comment to them afterwards, like, wow, that's very interesting. Of course, I didn't think it was interesting. It
'Cause
was
it's
one of the
fake.
worst things I've ever seen in my life. But I was like, hey, that's really interesting. So they're like, oh, you liked it? Here, you can have this traditional costume from a Chinese minority. I'm like, what? What Chinese minority?
It's literally
looks
made up.
like this with
Yes.
like rainbow
Where's the zebras
colors
in China.
No, well, that's not even like a zebra. What even is that?
I don't know.
It's like a
It looks
zebra
like
leopard.
an earthquake, like a crag in the earth.
And it was even worse if you saw the whole outfit.
Yeah, it was like a robe.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And it did have leopard print as well on it
Yeah.
and stuff. Like that.
Literally made up.
It's just made up. It's like, let's just take something that's different and throw it together.
So I put it
Yeah.
on as a joke, and
Yeah.
we did it in our video. We did this thing
Yeah.
where you would say something, and then I would walk to the camera
Yeah,
and say
yeah.
something. It was very professional.
Yeah, yeah.
But in that segment, we wanted to see if the audience would notice, and I put that on, and we were dying
Yeah,
laughing.
we were
But
like,
in the
everyone's
segment, I
going to
was
love
dead
it.
serious.
Yes.
No one
No one
said
noticed.
anything.
They were just like, oh, that's just what he wears.
That's fine.
Maybe they were worried about like offending your sensibilities or something.
I like to hear that.
Yeah. Anyway, it was funny. Just had to explain that. What else have we been talking about?
So episode 99, the one before that, I thought it was a great one. We talked about stuff that that you might think is invented in China, but actually is not.
Yeah, it's
like
not.
a lot of weird stuff.
Like that lucky cat thing.
Yeah.
You think that comes from China, it doesn't.
We also talked about stuff that was from China that you probably didn't think was.
Yes, exactly.
Which was a really cool one. This was an episode about white monkeys. So these are white people or foreigners, I should say, that get jobs in China just for being not Chinese.
Then we had pranks that go too far.
Yeah, pranks that go too far, which in China they cross the line a lot of times.
Then we had the watch party for this ridiculous movie.
It was incredible.
Yeah, super
incredible.
Fun. Yeah. Yeah, we do a lot of this stuff.
This was only in China. Stuff that only happens in China is very fun. One of our better episodes.
I would say that our
backyard vehicles.
Xiaobanhou episodes are just super fun in general because it's something that the audience chooses.
But it's a whole topic.
Yeah,
it's not just random.
Not a stupid little supplemental show. It's its own thing.
Yes.
Anyway, it's time for us to move into Worldview. And thank you to all of those of you, by the way, who join us in Xiaobanhou. It's really a special community. Very special community. So anyway, I came across this very interesting terminology the other day. You know, I made a video about America on my channel, and somebody in the comments used this word I'd never heard before, and I think it's hilarious. Affluenza.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, do you want to explain what's going on?
First,
here?
let's look at this graph.
Okay.
You know, if it's me, it's going to be a graph.
It's going to be. Yes, guys, remember last time we had a thing about, do you like finance?
Economics.
It's finance.
No, it's economics.
Was it? I'm pretty sure it was a bit
do you care about segments about the Chinese economy?
And finance. Yeah. I think we need to get you a calculator or something. Maybe one of those, you know, those caps and that green lamp.
You're going to have to tell 81% of our audience to get.
Yeah, but I think, and then you get that strap on your arm.
It's literally my nightmare.
Yeah, and you know, you sit there and you like.
I hate that stuff, but I do like to make sure I'm on top of how China's economy is going because we are the China show.
Yes, exactly.
Anyway, this is about America's economy.
Oh, wow.
I just thought this is very funny.
Okay.
So this is hilarious. So this is when you ask Americans how their finances are doing. Okay.
Yes.
72% of Americans say that they're at least doing okay. Okay.
Yeah.
But if you ask Americans, how is the national economy? Right. 22% of them say it's doing okay. Okay. So I just out of curiosity. Dear my fellow Americans.
Can we throw in an ABP?
Yeah.
America Bad Party, America Bad.
If 72% of you are saying that your finances are doing at least okay, what insight do you have into this deep lore that you have about the national economy that you know so much about how things are going? Do you work in the mint?
Maybe.
So to me, I would say,
yep.
And I think most people would say up until now, until this incredible hatred for their own country that has really taken off with Americans.
Yep.
In my opinion, due to Russian and Chinese propaganda.
A big
part of it,
big
at least.
Time. Yeah.
Where do you equate this? Because if you ask someone in 2008 and you said, how's the economy doing? They'll say it's bad, right?
Yes.
And they'll say, how are your finances doing? Probably pretty bad,
Yep.
right? Those two things intersect.
Yes.
So how can you personally be doing fine?
Yeah, 72% of you are doing fine.
But the national economy is doing real bad. It's like, I'm personally doing fine, but man, I've heard those. I heard about the economy. It's just tanking. It's just really hitting the dirt.
Yeah, this is a very good way to show how effective this division that's being sowed.
It really is. To me, these things probably normally align much closer.
Yes.
And it's crazy how much media and propaganda has really pushed people to think their lives, maybe they're fine, but like everything's bad. Everything's falling apart. Pretty crazy.
It is crazy.
Meanwhile, things can actually be falling apart in places like China.
But they think it's doing fine.
It's doing fine, right? It's this weird duality. It's absolutely nuts to me. So affluenza, I think, is a beautiful term.
Yes.
It's a real term, apparently.
It is, yeah.
And that you can read it if you want to.
Well, it's a social condition that presents itself in privileged individuals who believe they will not be held accountable for their actions because of there's many different definitions here.
I want you to read through them. This is all related to ABP.
Yeah. Individuals who suffer from affluenza fail to recognize the social repercussions of their actions, which may cause mental or physical harm or anguish upon others, And the social scientists blame the appearance of affluenza on contemporary culture that fetishizes wealth but provides strategies to avoid this social condition. Some symptoms of affluenza are an all-consuming focus on work and earning money and a self-image tied directly to financial status.
So the summation of this is affluenza is a social condition that arises from the desire to be more wealthy or successful, and it can also be defined as the inability of an individual to understand the consequences of their actions because of their social status or economic privilege. So this idea that it's so much better off than most people in the world if you really just look at the world. But you think because you're so important and you're the center of the universe that your situation is somehow worse than everyone else's. And until you got to understand how much this pisses off people like Winston and I who have lived in underdeveloped countries and seen what poverty looks like and have traveled to 30 plus countries around the world and seen this. You don't realize how good people have it, especially in the US. And they just, and it's one thing if you do complain. I think that's great to complain and question and to move forward and ask these questions so that things can improve. But to not acknowledge that other people have it so much worse off than you.
It is a sickness. I find it's a weird thing, guys. Every single time you want to say there's a problem in China or any place in the world, if I make a video about South Africa, immediately people are like, oh, if you think that's bad, downtown Chicago. Or if you think that's bad, America's going to be like that in a few years. Or you think that's bad, America this, America that. It's kind of a weird thing where people that are actually in a good position, they want to be in a bad position so bad. I don't know what it is.
It's like a fantasy.
It's weird.
And I, by the way, 100% acknowledge that people in America are, a lot of them, in a bad position.
Sure.
But it's so overwhelming how much a lot of people refuse to believe that things are happening very badly in other countries. And somehow their situation isn't the worst. It's like they get slighted.
Yeah,
they're like, no, my situation is worse.
How dare you say that, China's economy is struggling?
In fact, I've seen a lot of and a lot of this, again, is Russian bots and China bots, right? But there is some of our audience, which I've noticed, that have previously supported us in the past that are now saying things like, well, yeah, okay, I get it, and I trust your China news and stuff, but you got to realize that your guys are being hypocritical because America's worse than China now. So we're supposed to now say all of these things that we have experience with being, somewhat China experts and can actually talk with authority on a lot of these topics because we understand the country, live there over a decade and speak the language and still talk to people there, right?
Correct.
We're somehow now supposed to say that the country we currently live in can observe with our own eyes, can taste, feel, and touch, and know is superior on every front with freedom of speech, everything, wealth,
law, and order,
income equality. Crazy enough.
Yes.
Such a ridiculous thing in America, which is it's very low income equality, right?
Inequality,
compared to China, it is life is vastly superior on almost every single metric.
Correct.
Yet now, some of the audience is angry because we're not saying that America is worse than China.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah,
it's absolutely nuts to me. That's
well,
ADVP.
ADVP, yeah. So let's move on to the China's losing the chip war thing that you've put up here. Anything you want to say about that?
We're running low on time, so I'm just going to point you in the direction of the Atlantic article. Go down the description, read this fantastic article.
Okay.
Absolutely fantastic.
Excellent. What's this?
Segment.
Well,
Why'd you put that?
Hello there. I didn't see you.
Well, because we're talking about, the Chinese government-connected people here. So let's get right into it. There is this interesting thing that's just happened in France. Okay, something that we really have to point out here. Okay, now I'd like you to pay attention to the guy in the red. He is a dissident who posted some things online that China didn't like. All right, and so he's being hunted down by the Chinese government. This is what the picture is. So he was living in Germany and he was being harassed. He moved to France, and the person filming this actually went to go and save him from being forcibly deported from France. Okay, so this is the basic timeline. Okay, I'm going to just paraphrase a little bit here, but this guy, obviously the Chinese government wants him to go back to China to face charges because they're unhappy with what he posted online. He's a dissident, right? So they contact him when he's in France. This is according to him, and this is all alleged, so this might change in the future, but this is really what the story is. So they contact him and tell him, listen, there's nowhere to hide. We'll find you no matter where you go. So don't even think about doing anything. Come to us at this Chinese restaurant here in France, okay? So he goes to the Chinese restaurant. Apparently they rough him up a little bit, and then they take him by force to the airport.
Okay.
But not only a Chinese consular official, a Chinese policeman, and then these volunteers, these Chinese volunteers that volunteer, which we'll show you in a minute, which pisses me off, by the way, that they have these CCP volunteers that are allowed to walk around in uniform in France.
We need to question why that's happening.
But they all take him to the airport. They confiscated his phone and his passport, apparently, at this restaurant. And then they took him to the airport, and they were going to get him on this plane to Guangzhou to obviously be arrested and be taken to the police. But at the last minute, he started to fight with him. And then this other dissident came in over here and broke it up and filmed
And the
him.
press showed up.
Yeah, so let's take a look. So this dissident is these are embassy officials and, Chinese government-related people. And he's saying, what are you doing? Don't go,
这些都是是不是？这是法国的记者啊，电视台的。
他们要强制我遣返回中国。
I'd like you to pay attention to this guy in the red. That is a Chinese citizen volunteer, I guess, working for the Chinese embassy. But, he's walking around in a literal red vest that says he's a, volunteer in Chinese on it. You know what I mean? In a uniform.
So it'd be one thing if you had a Chinese group, right? And they go volunteer to set up a dragon parade.
Yeah.
Or they wear these red vests because they're setting up a Chinese New Year festival, right?
Yeah.
You have the Chinese government doing Operation Fox Hunt.
Yes.
Trying to kidnap a man out of Europe back to China so he can literally disappear forever.
Yeah.
Because he made fun of the Chinese government on the internet.
Yeah.
And
Apparently
they are
7 of them.
volunteering in France with impunity to help this occur.
Yeah.
That's why.
Well, let's take a look at the footage. It speaks for itself. So the guy in red is the guy they were trying to get rid of.
The maroon jacket.
And they're now they're asking, where's this other guy's passport? Because they confiscated his passport.
Right.
Like, who took his passport? Give him his passport back. He's like, that person has it.
Okay, his passport with him.
Sorry, sir. I'm French journalist. I'm French journalist. I ask some question.
Guess the French press turned up.
Gotta bring a little light.
Why?
It's free country. You can film. No problem. It's a free country. Not a People's Republic of China, sir. Not communist China. This is a free country.
So, I mean, just quickly, what you saw there, that guy, the consular officials and whatnot that were there and the volunteers, they had taken the guy's passport. And they were trying to force him to get on this plane. And you saw the dissident who came. He's like asking, where's his passport? Give him his passport back. He asked the guy, who has your passport? He said, that guy. Imagine the consular officials of whatever country. Like, say you're American and you're in Thailand or something. And the American consulate and stuff, they say, you better meet up with us. Otherwise, there's going to be trouble. You meet up, they confiscate your passport and your phone and stuff. And they take you to the airport. And now they have yours.
Because you posted a meme online about Joe Biden.
Yeah, exactly. And then they're like, okay, you're getting on this plane. You're like, no, don't.
Yes.
But they're holding your documents, your travel documents and stuff. This is what's happening.
That's what's happening.
Yeah.
And think of how insane it is that the Chinese government spent this much money to get this guy repatriated back to China because he posted memes online.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah. So this is, the journalists are now following them to the airport because, they were following and waiting to try help the guy.
Alors j'ai fait semblant d'accepter.
So they're on their way to the airport here.
Elle se dirige vers l'aéroport Roissy-Charles de Gaulle.
So there's an important scene I want to show you here.
We cannot follow him.
Ling est escorté jusqu'à la
There he
porte
is.
d'embarquement d'un vol pour Canton. Il est entouré par des membres d'une association d'amitié franco-chinoise, Amour, Cœur Uni, reconnaissables à leur gilet rouge. Ils ont l'air de lui souhaiter bon voyage.
All right, I want you to take a look. Here you've got the volunteer guys in the red jackets. So they're making sure that he goes through the gate, okay? And they're filming it and taking photos so that they can obviously, fill in a report to their superiors. Just take a look. See, he's taking his phone. He's flanking this side. There's another one here and the other volunteer vest over here. They're making sure he gets through that gate. And like I said, there they are. There's the officials and apparently a Chinese policeman as well. Flagging and saying, okay, bye, you're screwed now. Cops are waiting for you on the other side. But the fact that the volunteers are there to film it so they can report back to the Chinese government is disgusting. They shouldn't be allowed to be doing this in European countries.
How about the whole embassy should not be able to repatriate people?
True.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
This was not agreed upon.
No.
If it's a diplomatic effort, this would have been an agreement with the French government.
Correct.
Wu reçoit un message. Il est envoyé par Ling.
Yeah, so the interesting thing is the response that the Chinese embassy put out.
This is actually chilled. It gave me goosebumps how disgusting this is.
Yeah, because there was a news report about this, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously the French press, that thing was there.
Yeah.
And they filmed it and they made an article about it on Channel 2, I think it is. So the Chinese government put out this thing. They said on March 4th, Ling Huajian, that's the guy, right, presented himself to the consular department of the Chinese embassy. According to him, he had been duped into participating in activities of the Falun Gong sect and now realized that he had made mistakes. And since he had burned his passport when he participated in anti-Chinese activities in Germany, blah, 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 he asked the consular service for help to make him a travel document to return to China and report himself to the police.
Man posts memes online.
Yeah.
Goes to Germany to flee China.
Yeah.
Gets harassed by them there and has to flee to France.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the embassy says, no. He joined a cult. He joined Falun Gong, right?
Yeah.
And he felt really guilty about that. So he came back and said, please give me my new passport.
So I can go and report myself to the police.
Yeah.
To the police.
You couldn't have come up with a better story than that.
Yeah, I literally, he came to us. He came to us, by the way, and said, no, the Falun Gong duped him into being a bad guy. Yeah. So he feels bad. He wants to go back to China to go to jail. So he came to us so we could give him travel documents so he could go to jail. Yeah, likely story. And then he's like, the so-called forced repatriation is nothing but an outright fabrication. Ling Huajian not only failed to express any sense of gratitude to the embassy and association for giving him a selfless helping hand, but even worse...
They beat him up in a restaurant, didn't they?
Yeah, they beat him up in a restaurant.
And forced him to go back to China to go get disappeared.
Took his travel documents from him. And they were like, you're getting on this plane. Oh, selfless helping hand. Okay.
I mean, they literally victim shame him to say,
yes.
How dare he not accept getting disappeared? He should have thanked us.
Yes, exactly. But not only that, even worse, he falsified an embassy document to fabricate lies about the forced repatriation by the Chinese side. This thankless and defamatory gesture outrages us. This so-called embassy email is completely falsified from paper to format, including seal and signature. The embassy has already reported them to journalists from France too and wherever. And if we take a closer look at the circumstances of this case, we will have enough reason to believe that it is a poisonous trap set by anti-Chinese forces like Safeguard Defenders and Falun Gong against the Chinese embassy and the Chinese Nationals Associations, in which Ling Huajian played a puppet role. And then it continues. But then, why this farce? Because 2 years ago, these anti-China forces tried in vain to denigrate the overseas Chinese service station posts, which are those illegal police stations, by the way, as clandestine overseas Chinese police stations. And they can't accept this defeat. Why Ling Huajian? Because people like him are the victims of brainwashing and psychic manipulation by Falun Gong. Otherwise, we could never explain why Ling Huajian acted in such a way.
It's just...
when what he did is not all in his interest. And why now? Because this year marks the 60th anniversary of the Sino-French diplomatic relations, and President Xi Jinping will soon visit France. This is the perfect time for anti-China forces to provoke malicious incidents.
I'm sorry, but this is one of the most grotesque. It's both simultaneously funny and horrifying.
Yes.
The Chinese government put that out, took a victim that they tried to kidnap back to China and get rid of.
Yeah.
Or parade around as some sort of like horrible anti-government force because he posted memes online.
Yeah.
And then went out when they got caught doing it, made a post about how he should have been grateful and he turned himself in. And this is all everything doesn't check up, but it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's all conflicting what they say.
Exactly.
They don't even blame him at the end. They blame all these anti-China forces or whatever. If you're acting this unhinged and you're getting volunteers and you're kidnapping people, I'm sorry, France, but that's when you get rid of the diplomatic staff from China. I think you've crossed the line.
Yeah.
You do not operate like that in someone else's country.
Yeah.
That is inappropriate. That's a Western free country with freedom of speech and a government that's supposed to protect people, including immigrants and people seeking asylum and people trying to hide from authoritarian forces.
Exactly.
You need to do something about this.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Why do you? By the way, those volunteer people are from those strange overseas Chinese association things.
Yeah.
You know, those clandestine police stations. They shouldn't be allowed to be walking around in uniform enforcing the Chinese government's rule. Reporting.
Nor should
to
the embassy staff.
Reporting to the consulate, taking photos of stuff, and hurting people, and it's ridiculous. That shouldn't be allowed.
Why is diplomatic immunity allowed in a country that's clearly acting like your adversary?
Yeah. And I like the way they pretend like this forced repatriation isn't a thing, when they clearly have done it countless times. And they've bragged about it countless times.
Yeah, so that was my favorite part of this, right?
Yeah.
And when I say favorite, I mean my least favorite. Because what they say is that this so-called forced repatriation doesn't exist, right?
Yeah.
They literally made a reality TV show.
Yes.
And then did it in English, too.
Yes, on CGTN.
To brag about how we can get people to do forced confessions on TV and then repatriate them back to China. The forced repatriation. They literally brag about doing that.
They do it.
They say, we've successfully repatriated 12,000 Chinese people back to China. Forced repatriation, and then they act like it doesn't exist.
I absolutely love the whole part where they're like, this guy came to us and said, oh no, he was brainwashed to do evil things. By the way, his evil things were posting things online, criticizing the government. He didn't do bad, terrible things. No. He didn't like bomb a place or anything. He like literally posted
memes online,
stuff online. Oh, so he was brainwashed into doing that, and so came to us so that we could arrange travel documents and help him go and turn himself into the police in China. That is the stupidest, most unbelievable timeline in the history of the world.
I'm sorry, guys, but dissidents and family of dissidents and all this stuff, they do not go back to China.
No.
So there's this is the dumb, that embassy post really exposed the thought process.
Yeah.
Oh, someone came to us and said, can you please make me a new passport? I'd really love to go back to China.
To turn myself into the police.
That doesn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
ridiculous.
Absolute nonsense. Just thought we'd bring it to your attention, and hopefully something gets done about this.
Yeah, it's under investigation right now.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, we are a bit late to the story because France has blown this up. It's definitely widespread right now.
Yeah. Let's hope Macron stops being a little cake and do something about it. A little, a little confectionery, whatever you call that thing.
Yeah, I mean,
those things actually taste terrible. I don't like Macrons.
Oh, they're amazing.
You think they're great?
They're so good.
Maybe I've only had bad ones.
Ever. Yeah, you gotta have good ones.
Yeah,
for sure. They're very hard to make properly.
I had them in China, so.
Oh, no, I've never had a good one in China, for sure.
Yeah.
Chinese macaron? I don't know about that.
It kind of exists anyway. So it's time for us to move on, guys, to our Q&A section. Yamcha, this is the part of the show where we relax and we answer your questions and you question our answers. It is Friday, so it's time to loosen the tie. If you've got a cold snack beverage, whether it is alcoholic or not, I hope you're cracking it open and enjoying it right now.
Yes.
Let's get started. And for those of you not sticking around during this live show or on the weekend, stay awesome and we'll see you next time.
Yes.
Okay.